Hello Aces, Ace Combat here, and it's time for me to bring on the Ace Combat news because we had some very important things coming out today from the director of the whole franchise, the Ace Combat series, Kazutoki Kono. He posted on Twitter a hint that Ace Combat will be getting a new airplane, and the way he said it sounds like it's gonna be big. Anyway, in this video, let me go over his statement, what I think it means, my interpretation, what I think it doesn't mean, and what that means for Ace Combat, and lastly, what airplanes or what airplane this could be, and manufacturer as well. So he posted on Twitter today saying, this morning I received a letter congratulating Project Aces for the release of Ace Combat 7, because Ace Combat 7 did really well, like seriously. And I also received some material from a certain manufacturer of a certain country. He doesn't mention there in his tweet. And now he says that and from now on, let's build a relationship with this new manufacturer, certain manufacturer of a certain country. It sounds like it's Combat Infinity, how the original planes were like developed by a certain country. That's kind of how it sounds out to me. And he says because this is a fighter from a certain country, I'm not gonna give the details yet because I can't make it public information yet. We're still working on it, but that's it. And have a good night, Kono. How can I sleep with news like that? I can't sleep. So this is a very interesting statement from him, because I never seen anything before, like, especially when Ace Combat 7 was in development. It's not like, hey guys, we're gonna have a new plane of something. No, he's just showing the trailer or not. So it's very interesting. But what I think this means is a new aircraft, real life aircraft, obviously, because it's a real life manufacturer, right? So it's not the fan rear. That's a different talk. So it's a real aircraft, and I think the way he said with working with the manufacturer, like getting to know the manufacturer, means something that has never been featured in Ace Combat before, because Ace Combat, they have worked before a lot with Boeing, Lockheed, well, not the Russian ones, that's a different story, and the European ones like Saab. They even did the commercial for the Arsenal bird, like Saab. So I think this means we'll be getting a new manufacturer. So things get interesting. So what I would say is that means it's not the F-15X, because they already worked with Boeing before. They know each other, and we already have so many F-15s in Ace Combat 7. We have 3 of them, so I'm not sure if they want to add another one. And also, I know a lot of people saying, what about the Tornado? The Tornado was not in the game. I think that's unlikely, because if you think about it, if you put a plane in Ace Combat that wasn't added at first, or if you approach Project Aces, that means you're trying to market your plane, right? Or it should be something that is active service or coming soon. So I don't think it would be the Tornado, because the Tornado is already getting retired. It's in the end of service. No one's gonna buy Tornadoes anymore because they're kind of old. That's why the British Air Force, the RAF, is retiring them. So I don't think it's the Tornado, because we've already seen them before in the series. So they work together in Ace Combat. So we get to some very interesting speculations. I just want to be very brief on the speculations because it's secret. Kono says is not going to reveal yet at this moment. So, from what I think in the possibilities, like I said, it should be something that the companies are trying to market. It's kind of funny how you want to market your fighter jet by putting them in a video game. But let's go with a few things, a few options that I thought would be possible. First, we have the Tempest that the UK is developing. I know it's not even close to getting operational. It's so far, but I don't know if they want to market like for the long term. I guess put in the game, as long as they have the concept of how the shape of the plane is going to be, they can put in the game, right? Because they just need the shape and kind of know a little bit of the weapons. And it sounds very futuristic, which is something Ace Combat 7 is going for. And by the way, when I say this plane will be added probably in Ace Combat 7, it's probably after the first DLC, okay? I'm not sure if it will be included, right? So, Tempest, definitely a possibility, but I'm not sure how likely it is. The concept is good, just the time frame, it's very far from being in active service, so An interesting option would be the MiG-35, because they've done so many Sukhois and only a few MiGs, the older ones. So it's possible they get the MiG-35. Now the interesting thing is, I'm not sure if the Mikoyan and Gudovich would be working or approaching with Pro Aces, because if you look at the licensings in the game, it doesn't look like the Russian planes are licensed. I don't think they need to be. I don't know what's the copyright law in Russia, but you never see Sukhoi or Mikoyan Gurevich or Tupolev in the licensing on the credits. So it's interesting. And then we get to some very interesting options. We have India with the F-21, which is basically a new version of the F-16 for India that Lockheed is making. I don't know if that's what Lockheed Martin India wants to market. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. And also from India, we have the whole Tejas. It's currently active, and it has never been featured in Ace Combat. So it's possible. It's the Indian planes, right? And then we get to some other possibilities, like Chinese planes. We have the J-10. We have the J-20, probably most famous, like what they're trying to, their version of the F-22. And there's also the J-31. So these planes are already flying, they're operational. Maybe China's trying to sell these planes by putting them in Ace Combat, the marketing. It's possible. Now the only thing up with the Chinese planes, I don't know, because China and Japan, they don't really have the best relationship. So I'm not sure if that's what they're trying to do. It would be a major, I guess, overcoming a major cultural difference, political difference, if it is indeed a Chinese company. But I know it seems unlikely, but it is possible. It's possible. And lastly, we have the Korean KFX. You remember them? Because they used Ace Combat footage before in their marketing, like without asking for the aces. It's like, hey guys, can you put us in your game now? We already made the images for you, how it would look like. That would be so funny if that's true. If it's actually the Koreans. But again, Korea and Japan, they're not so friendly. Probably less than China, but yeah. It's like complicated, but it would just be so funny if it was the Koreans. I made the videos before. You can check there about how they stole the footage from Ace Combat to market their plane. It was a funny story. But in the end, I think these are the most common options. You see, they're all different manufacturers, with exception of the Tempest and also the Lockheed, the F-21, because they kind of already worked together with Pro Aces before in the licensing, but it's different. It's a new plane, so I don't know. But anyway, I'll make a poll right here. You guys can vote which one you think it is. But my bets are totally on the 829 Super Tucano. That's gonna be in the game. I'm just kidding. It's too OP for Ace Combat, hence it was never been added. But anyway, these are the news. We're gonna get a new plane. I don't think it's an older plane like the Tornado. I don't think it's the Japanese, the Shinshin, where I seen in Ace Combat Infinity, just how Kono stated that they got to know a new manufacturer or new relationship, because they already had the Shinshin before, like from Mitsubishi. So I don't think that's the case. So very interesting things to come, definitely. So let me know what you think in the comments. What would you like to see? And I guess we're gonna have to wait and see what this new plane will be like, which will probably come in the DLCs for Ace Combat 7 after the first batch, which will come in the early summer of this year. The DLC with the 3 missions and the 3 original planes. So it's probably gonna come after. Anyway, these are the news. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.